storyteller too. Y'all just got to tell y'all stories. So here I am in this class, and learning about computing, and really big on infrastructure, really big on wanting to know what's behind the brains, what's the brains behind this thing, right? Not what the results were, but what was the brain behind it, right? Because I can create some impact. Well, the impact that I would create would be later, and it would be different. It would look different. And so I found myself, doing a lot of computing, going through workforce. I went through workforce, took a gap year, went through the workforce, amazing jobs, everything, because they needed my skills. They were in demand. Every application I would apply for, you had to type 60 to 65 words per minute, no less than that. I typed 100. So y'all, I was killing the game. I was killing it. These little fingers was getting it, and my fingers was in love with them keys. So y'all might think this is not interesting, but y'all wait till y'all hear the rest of this story. So I get back up, learn that I really love the infrastructure of these computers, and then so later on I discovered, get to North Carolina. One of my things was access to services. I've always been big on how we access services, which is why we do this work that we do at NCBWR. It's so important for us to make sure that our folk have equity. Equity is key. We didn't have it in the community. We lacked it back then in 2001 when I was a mom of very young children, trying to figure out how. That's a whole nother story, y'all. I didn't tell that part of the story yet. It's coming. So there was this, we were under disaster. We were under the flood of 99, 100-year flood. Things were bad. And so we eventually, there was nothing. There was nothing. We had to figure out what was available for our children, what resources were available. And the only thing that was available within the radius was a daycare center that was about 20 or 25 miles out. So you had 6 schools within this radius, this rural community, with no computing accessing centers for children. Crime was on the rise, juvenile delinquency was on the rise, and it was a problem. And then, for me, what I realized very quickly was that I had a love for solving problems. Again, that goes back to my mind being the inquiry of the things around me. I saw these problems all my life. But I've always been the one, how do I fix that? What can I do? How do I add value to what's going on in our climate, right? And so I started this whole nonprofit organization, didn't have a lick of nonprofit skills, nothing. When I say nothing, didn't have the 4-year degree, didn't have the research skills, none of that. And I went on a mission. God took me on a mission. And I studied the school report cards, discovered that there was a huge demand or huge need, because the school report cards revealed that. The school report cards at the North Carolina Academy of Teacher Education, NCATE, revealed, the data said, there was a lot of poverty. There was a lot of poverty in the rural communities. There was a lot of, the transitional age where the biggest difficulty was happening was in the middle schools. And unbeknownst, God sent me to the middle schools. I went to the middle schools as a substitute teacher and a mentor and social work, and doing a lot of social work. But later on, you guys, I literally built a computer access center with my hands. I literally went on that mission and said, hey, well, if we don't have it, and all the Boys and Girls Clubs across the river over there, and no one seems to want to come over here, then somebody's got to do something about this. And of course, that mandate would be on my life. So when I say your story, you have a story. Think now, then remember now where my weakness was in processing the words like my peers, but my hands, they had no problem processing words. So my strength became my love for computing.